Russia lost the war. The army is finished. It's over for Russia. These are the things you hear every day in Western media, but the truth is completely different. All these media outlets backed by America keep saying the Russian army is completely defeated, to the point you might imagine Ukrainian forces marching into Moscow and President Putin grabbing a Kalashnikov, fighting for his life. It's been over 3 years, yet Russia is far more capable today than it was 2 years ago. You can even say Russia is the most battle-tested army on the planet right now. But here's the secret Western media won't tell you. There is no such thing as a Russia-Ukraine war. It's Russia versus the entire West. Russia didn't start this. The West did, by provoking and surrounding it. If Russia ever did the same to America, we'd already be in World War III. So the billion-dollar question is, who's actually winning? Russia or the entire West? What's the evidence? And what will the new world look like after this war? We'll tell you all of that. But this is a very sensitive subject, and I can't share my full opinion on YouTube. That's why we have a platform on Telegram where we post unfiltered content. So after this video, head to our Telegram channel, link in the description. See you there. You remember when Trump called Russia a paper tiger? It was hilarious. The same Trump who begged Putin to talk to him and ended up so humiliated that he thought saying such nonsense would somehow make Russia angry. Just imagine this. Trump, the so-called master of the art of the deal, offered Putin a deal, the surrender of Ukraine. Russia could keep all the territory it took, face zero consequences for the war, and Ukraine would be the one paying for all the Western weapons sent to it. Trump handed every advantage to Russia, and President Putin still refused the offer. Now tell me this, would a country on the verge of collapse and defeat behave like that? Because to me, it's America and Ukraine that are desperate for a ceasefire, not Russia. But why? To answer that, you just have to look at President Putin himself. His expression is always calm. He chooses his words carefully. You won't see him angry or frustrated. It's the same with Xi Jinping, China's president, and you see it in Iran's leaders too. Calm, sharp, confident. Now look at Western leaders. They're angry, irritated, constantly insulting anyone who brings up Russia, Iran, or China. Why? Because they're losing against these three countries, and they know it. Russia's military today is far more battle-ready than America's. Just look at the military parade for Trump's birthday. The tanks and equipment were squeaking. Someone could have fixed it with WD-40, but apparently $1 trillion military can't afford that. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, every bit of experience Russia gains in Ukraine is shared with Iran and China. And the same goes in reverse. When Iran leveled the Israeli airbase with ballistic missiles, the very next day, top military officials from Russia, China, and even North Korea came to Iran to gather information on how Iran penetrated 7 different Western air defense shields. The military cooperation between these countries is at the highest level. And you can clearly see how prepared Russia's military is if you look at the numbers and data from the battlefield. Those data tell you the truth Western media tries to hide. What is the most common theme in the news about the Russia-Ukraine conflict? Most reports share untrue, incomplete, or one-sided data. Take human casualties, for example. Pro-Russian media sometimes claim that for every Russian soldier lost, 7 Ukrainian soldiers die. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian side says for every Ukrainian soldier, 3 to 4 Russian soldiers are killed. In my opinion, after following this conflict for so long, the most realistic estimate is this. For every Russian soldier lost, 2 to 3 Ukrainian soldiers are lost. I think that's the closest to the truth. But here's the shocking part. Russia has a population of about 150 million. Ukraine has around 40 million. If we consider the age group of 20 to 50, the group most capable of fighting, Russia has around 35 million men. Ukraine has 9 million. So Russia has almost 4 times the manpower. Even if Russia loses 1 soldier for every 2 Ukrainians, this is still a nightmare scenario for Ukraine. Anyone with half a brain cell can understand this, but Western media doesn't have access to that luxury item. Even if the West gives Ukraine unlimited tanks and fighter jets, who's going to operate them when there are no soldiers left? And now we arrive at the most important topic of this video, the one you probably never heard before. The real reason the battlefield is in a stalemate. Russia can push forward any time, but doing so would dramatically increase Russian casualties. That's why Russia maintains a slow, grinding positional war. A type of battle where their current casualty advantage gives them long-term dominance. In earlier videos, we talked about how Russia could copy America's method of mass bombing infrastructure and collective punishment. The same tactics the US and Israel use against their enemies to end wars. But Russia refuses to stoop to that level. Now you see why President Putin always looks calm and confident. The simple truth is this: the numbers are in his favor. Unlike Ukraine, which gets weapons with huge media coverage, Russia receives weapons and support from China, Iran, and North Korea, but they do it completely in secret. On the battlefield, Russia holds total advantage and a clear long-term strategy. But the West still has one hope left: collapse Russia's economy. So the billion-dollar question is, can they actually do it? Who is the strongest superpower in the world? 30 years ago, the answer would have been simple: the country with the most nukes, the most fighter jets, and the most aircraft carriers. But today, the answer is completely different. A strong economy and a high quality of life are what make a nation truly powerful. That's why China has already overtaken America. But what about Russia? Russia is the most sanctioned country on the planet, over 20 times more sanctioned than North Korea by comparison. America thought these sanctions would starve Russia to death. That's how naive US officials were. Yes, the sanctions had a huge impact on Russia, but nothing compared to the impact they had on the world order. First, they pushed Russia closer to Iran, a country that has mastered the art of surviving and even thriving under heavy sanctions. Then the sanctions strengthened Russia's ties with China. And the biggest shock? Russia also grew closer to India, which became the largest buyer of Russian oil. That forced China and India to become more cooperative and less hostile toward each other. To understand how big this is, remember, China and India are the two largest economies in BRICS. Their improving relationship revived BRICS and turned it into an actual global powerhouse. Today, BRICS is expanding rapidly from 5 members to 10 and growing at an unimaginable speed. Soon, they won't just replace the US dollar, they'll replace Western products too. And when that happens, it's game over for America. The plan America created to destroy Russia's economy ended up strengthening it by pushing Russia into deeper alignment with BRICS nations, while damaging the US economy instead. Replacing the SWIFT banking system, creating a new BRICS currency, removing tariffs between member nations who control 2/3 of the world's economy, this is the final nail in the coffin of Western imperialism, America's worst nightmare. Russia's economy may have taken some blows, but unlike America, Russia actually has a strong future ahead. That's why Europeans are slowly abandoning the US and moving closer to BRICS nations, because they understand who is winning the Russia-Ukraine conflict. And you can say the time for Western media, the ones who fed lies to the whole world, is over. They better start looking for new jobs. If you agree, give this video a like and subscribe. And if you're feeling extra generous, follow our Telegram channel. Link in the description, where we share the uncensored truth. You can make our voice even louder. Thank you for your support. And remember, this is Eastwind Brigade, where our voices unite and we rise together.